Very good morning, students. Uh, as you know that your midsem 2 is uh, coming on within a week, and after your midsem, we don't have a time for the lecture. So we finish the whole chapter, but remaining the some portion of the series reaction and and last chapter will be temperature and pressure effect. And I have to finish all these things. So what I think, we try to cover some of the portion for temperature and pressure effect because it's compulsory. For my side is to put down all lectures. It include all chapters in my portal. So what I'm thinking, first we finish the temperature and pressure effect. Then I will take extra lectures, and then we take two uh, two lectures regarding the series reaction. So my first preference is to finish the uh, temperature and pressure effect. That is the last chapter. It's compulsory to finish from my side, and then we take extra lectures, and then we finish the series reaction. So I decided to start within the temperature and pressure effect, and then after taking an extra lecture, we'll finish the series reaction. Then, so this is that I think. So now for that, let's start the last chapter. That chapter will be the pressure and temperature effect. So till now, we each and every time we say that we have a isothermal systems. Like temperature is not changed with respect to temperature is constant throughout the reaction. But majorly this will not happen. As a human, we cannot maintain a temperature and pressure throughout the reaction. So there are changes. They are changes once the reaction is progressive. So so there is an effect of temperature on rate of reaction and different things. So first, let me discuss what is the effect of temperature and pressure, and then we take one by one and we discuss all these things. Then before that, I would like to say something regarding the submission part. So what I will give like we did in previous semester in instrumentation and process control. Like your based on your CS group, I will give you one GTU paper, and within your group, you have to write down the GTU paper and you have to send it to me by mail, through mail. The one task is this. That is the only assignment during the CRE. And one thing, I will assign a topic to a group wise. I will assign a topic to group wise. You have to make a PPT. And what is the topic? Topic is the throughout the CRE. Throughout the CRE, whatever we understand, I am giving you topic. You have to make a PPT, and 10 minutes you have to give the presentation. Then, so two things you have to do during the in CRE subject. I will within a group, I will write down a GTU paper that you have to solve within a group. So for example, okay, there are 5 students in a group. So you have to solve, one student will solve one question, another students will solve another question. Like this, you have to write it down and then you have to submit it. And I will give one topic to a group, and then you have to present it within the 10 minutes. So you have to two things you have to do during the CRE things. Okay. So let's start the new chapter. Dharmik is raise your hand. Yes, Dharmik. You can unmute yourself and you can ask me.
હેલો સર.
Yes, Dharmik.
સર ગમે એક રાખો ને સર, અત્યારે બધાના અસાઇનમેન્ટ આવશે સબ્જેક્ટ ના, અને સર 2 કે 3 દી જ છે.
ઓકે બટ આપણે જે પ્રેઝન્ટેશન હશે ને ઈ ક્યારે તો કે તમારે મિડ સેમ 2 થઈ જાય પછી આ બધી
તો
સબમિટ
સર ત્યારે તો રીડિંગ ટાઈમ હોય ને.
થઈ જાય ભાઈ તમારે ખાલી સબમિટમેન્ટ કરી દેવાનું ટાઈમ એવું નહીં ફિક્સ ટાઈમ સો લેટ્સ સ્ટાર્ટ ધી ટેમ્પરેચર એન્ડ પ્રેશર ઇફેક્ટ ઓન chemical reaction engineering or reaction engineering. Okay, so listen carefully whatever you write down in whiteboard. Okay, temperature and pressure effect. So till now we see the isothermal condition, but if I not maintain the isothermal condition, then what will be the effect? So once the temperature and pressure change, once the temperature and pressure change, the first things affect is it affect it create change in or it affect in change in equilibrium composition, second it affect in rate of reaction, and it change in product distribution. These are the three major parameter that affect during the or it change during the change in temperature and pressure. Another one, if there is a change in temperature and pressure will be there, then what is happening in reaction? There is a change. First things majorly change in heat of reaction. Once there is a change in temperature in the pressure, there is a change in heat of reactions. Once there is a change in heat of reactions, either the systems becomes exothermic heat of reaction change. It means that once there is a change in temperature will be there at that time, either heat is liberated during the reaction or heat is absorbed during the procedure. So heat of reaction delta R is changes. So once all these things are changes, once all changes occur, then volume of the reactor then volume of reactor is not same as in isothermal conditions. So there is a change in volume once the non-isothermal conditions are there. So now we have to see what are the effect, what is the effect of temperature on heat of reaction. What ultimately what is the effect of what is the effect of temperature on chemical reaction. There is a change in heat of reaction means there is an effect of temperature on chemical reaction. Then we see what is the effect of temperature on equilibrium composition. Then we'll see what is the effect of uh, uh, on the rate of reaction. This will we understand product distribution. So we say that whenever parallel reactions is there, at that time K1 divided by K2 is also affected for the parallel reactions. So once K1 is changes, it means there is a change in temperature. Regarding it, activation energy is changed. So whether it create the more desired product or it create the undesired product. So temperature is affected during the product distribution, that we see it. For example, the higher activation energy, it means we have to keep the higher temperature so that the desired reaction is there. If we have a lower temperature, then concentration of undesired reactions will be there. So that effect of temperature on product distribution we see during the parallel reactions. But we have to see first topic, we have to see the effect of temperature on heat of reaction. It means on chemical reaction. So there is a change in delta HR value. So based on it, exothermic or endothermic will be there. Once the exothermic and endothermic will be there, then according to it, equilibrium conversion is changes. That we also see. Then we see the equilibrium composition changes, and then we see the change of temperature within the rate of reaction changes. Then we see how to calculate the volume of a reactor whenever non-isothermal things are there. And so these are the topics for the temperature and pressure effect. So today we have to see the topic. The topic will be the heat of reactions from thermodynamics. Next topic will be the delta HR. It is a heat of reactions from the thermodynamics. Heat of reactions from thermodynamics point of view. So let me consider one reaction. So we consider a reactions A plus RR, it gives SS. We consider A will be the stoichiometric coefficient, R will be stoichiometric coefficient, small s will be stoichiometric coefficient. A plus R gives S. Now directly I've written down the equation for the heat of reaction that you already studied. You already studied during the thermodynamics one. So during the thermodynamics one, we studied the if I have to calculate the delta HR at different temperature. For example, at 290 for 25 degree, we know the heat of reactions for particular reactant, but we don't know what will be the heat of reaction at, for example, 500 degrees Celsius. So to calculate the heat of reactions, and what the first thing, why we have to calculate the heat of reactions, because once we know the heat of reaction, then we decide then we see the reactions are exothermic or endothermic. Based on it, we have to we have to maintain it. Then based on it, we have to see if the irreversible reaction is there, then what is the conversion with respect to temperature. If irreversible reaction is, if reversible reaction is there, then we have to see what is the effect of conversion on that temperature. So just to know the what is the calculation of conversion with respect to temperature, we should know the exothermic reaction or endothermic reaction. We can know exothermic and endothermic reaction using the heat of reaction. In other words, once we have a heat of reactions, then we can calculate the equilibrium constant. So if reversible reaction is there, at that time we have to calculate the equilibrium constant rate of K value. So capital K value. So to calculate the capital K value for the non-isothermal condition, we require the value of delta HR for particular temperature. And because of that reason, we have to find out the heat of reactions. So to calculate the heat of reactions, HR2 at second temperature, and the temperature we require, that temperature, what will be the heat of reaction, is equal to delta HR1 plus T1 to T2 multiply by, now there is a change in Cp value with respect to temperature. Okay, so now there are two things. Cp value change, maybe Cp value change with respect to temperature, and sometimes Cp value will be constant with this boundary of condition. For example, here 25 degree to 500 degree temperature. For the reactant that we take, it may be there the Cp value doesn't change within the temperature of 25 degree to 500 degree temperature. It may be affected the Cp value change within this temperature range. So we have to see both Cp value change or Cp value does not change. For example, let's take a Cp value change. Here the case 1, heat capacity or Cp value change with change in temperature. Then how can we calculate the delta HR? So for these conditions, we have to consider delta Cp is equal to R heat capacity for the R plus S Cp at S. What we take? Sorry, I write down the wrong one. Huh? Sorry, it's a mistake from my side. So the equation is like A gives R plus SS. So sorry, it's a mistake from my side. We have to consider this reaction. So R CPR plus SCPS. So heat capacity for product will be the plus minus A CPA. We'll also calculate one example based on this, so it will be clear, more clear at that time also. So, so how to calculate the Cp of R, Cp of S, and Cp of A? For that, the constant value are given. For example, the N2. For just I am only writing on N2 plus H2 gives NS3. Just it's a wrong equation, but just let me write down. So now N2 value for A, B, alpha, beta, and gamma is given. H2 for alpha, beta, and gamma is given. NS3 alpha, beta, and gamma is given. So we can calculate Cp of R, Cp of S, and Cp of A using that. So how can we calculate the CP of A? For examples, ki CP of A we have to calculate at that time. We have to, the values are alpha of A plus beta of A multiplied by temperature plus gamma of A temperature square. For example, how can we calculate the value of CP B, alpha of B, beta of B multiplied by temperature plus it's a R. A, R and S. CP of R is equal to CP of R B value of R plus T plus gamma R T square. Sometimes what will happen? Sometimes this equation is also given. The third things will be the CP of S, alpha S plus beta S plus gamma S square. Then, so now we have to put CP of R, CP of S, CP of B. And if I put all these things value, then I'm writing down the final equation delta HR2 is equal to delta HR1 plus T1 to T2 change in alpha plus change in beta T plus sorry, it's a change in gamma T square multiplied by dt. So if I do the integrations, then delta HR2 is equal to delta HR1 plus delta alpha T2 minus T1 plus delta gamma divided by 2 T2 square minus T1 square plus delta gamma divided by 3. Sorry, here T1 T1 T2 T2 cube minus T1. Okay, we can use this equation to calculate the heat of reaction whenever Cp is changed with respect to temperature. And so once we have a value of delta HR, then we can calculate the equilibrium constant. We can know whether exothermic or endothermic. Once we know exothermic or endothermic, we see the chart of temperature of conversion with respect to temperature. So we can know how much temperature we achieve so that we get a maximum conversion. So delta alpha we can calculate here. Delta alpha we can calculate R of alpha R plus S of alpha S minus A of alpha A. So alpha A, alpha S, alpha R is given to us. Sigma beta is given, calculated by R of beta R plus S of beta S minus A of beta A. All the beta's values are given to us. Then sigma, then the gamma value calculated by R of gamma R plus S of gamma S minus A of gamma A. So we can calculate this one. We put down the value, we will put down the temperature, and we can calculate the heat of reaction. And now, if the heat capacity is not changed with respect to temperature, if Cp is constant, now case number 2, if Cp is constant, throughout the temperature, then we can calculate, and we use this equation, delta H R2 is equal to delta H R1 plus Cp bar divided by T2 minus T1, that Cp bar value is given. So we can use this equation to calculate the value of Cp whenever it doesn't change with this temperature. Okay, so by this way we can calculate the heat of reactions. Okay? So we see one example, and based on the example, this is the new example. Let me calculate one example so we know the idea. Okay, the example are, let's calculate one example. Calculate, once we calculate, we can clear more. Calculate the heat of reaction calculate the heat of reaction for the synthesis of ammonia N2 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3 at 150 degrees Celsius in kilojoule per mole of H2 reacted and in kilojoule per mole N2 reacted. Standard heat of ammonia standard heat of formation of ammonia is minus 11,020 calorie per mole N2. we can use CpH2 is equal to 6.946 minus 0.196 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3 multiplied by t plus 0.476 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 6t square. Cp at N2 is equal to 6.457 plus 1.39 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3 t minus 0.069 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 6t square. Cp at NH3 is given 5.92 plus 8.963 multiplied 10 raised to minus 3 t minus 1.764 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 6 t square. Okay, so these are the datas are given. So now using this value, we can calculate delta alpha. We have to calculate the delta alpha value, delta beta value, delta gamma value. Done. It means we have to calculate the alpha value of H2N2 NH3, then delta beta value and delta gamma value. Then we put down all this one in standard equation, and using standard equation we can calculate the value of delta H. So today we calculate only the value of delta alpha, delta beta and delta gamma, and next class we will calculate the delta H. So let me write down the final equation, the final solution. So solution is delta HR at 150 degree temperature is equal to delta HR a standard 25 degree that is given to us, plus we have to calculate delta alpha T minus 298, it means a standard, plus delta beta by 2 T square minus 298 square plus delta gamma divided by 3 T cube minus 298 cube. Now we have to calculate delta alpha, delta beta, delta gamma using all these three. We put down delta HR at standard, standard rate of reaction is given. This T is 150 degrees, so we have to calculate in Kelvin. Then we calculate alpha, beta, and gamma, and we calculate the delta HR value, and we have to see whether the reactions are isothermic or endothermic. Let's calculate only the alpha value. So delta alpha is equal to 2 alpha NH3 minus stoichiometric coefficient 2. That's why we write down 2 minus 1 alpha N2 minus 3 alpha H2. So we use this stoichiometric coefficient. 1 plus 3H2 gives 2NH3. Okay. So what is the value of alpha for NH3? So 2 multiplied by NH3 alpha 5.98. So it's a 5.92. So minus 1 multiplied by alpha of N2. It's 6.457. Now I take multiplication minus common, so it just becomes in bracket. I can make 3 multiply by the alpha is just 6.946. If I do it, then I will get delta alpha minus 15.455. Same way, if I calculate the value of beta, then I can say 2 multiply by 8.963 minus 1 multiply by 1.39 here minus 3 multiply by minus 0.196, then all multiply by 10 raised to minus 3 because we all having 10 raised to minus 3. So finally we have a value 15.948 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. Same way, if I calculate the delta gamma value, so 2 multiplied by minus 1.764 minus 3 multiplied by 0.476 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 6. So finally I'm getting minus 4.88 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 6. Now if we put down all this value in above equation, delta HR standard minus delta alpha value. Total 150 means 423 Kelvin minus 298 plus 15.948 multiplied by 10 raised to minus 3. If I calculate all these things, then finally I'm getting the value minus 233.4 calorie per mole into reacted, or I can say calorie in joule. We can also say minus 97.7 kilojoule per mole into reacted. Then, or if I say, so it means that here if we say it's a minus sign, delta HR minus. So according to it, we can calculate the equilibrium constant. According to it, we can see how much conversion is there based on the exothermic and endothermic, and then we can do the reactor design. So these are the so this is the first topic of heat of reaction. Next, we calculate the equilibrium constant for the effect of temperature on equilibrium constant. So I finish here, write down your enrollment number, and then we can leave the class. This is the end from my side. I will send you your group name, your name, your group number. I will send you also a topic of you, and I will also send you a year of GTU paper that you want to solve. So this is from my side. You can leave the meeting once you write down your enrollment number in chat box. You can leave the meeting. કામ કરો થોડાક દિવસ લેવા દો લાવો તમારે પાછી જાઓ થોડાક દિવસ